It's March and it's trying to snow. Best say goodbye to the DC24 and see how it's done, hadn't we? Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? In this incredibly cold, it's -5 outside. Just started to snow. The beast from the east hasn't quite made Buckinghamshire yet, luckily. And we must say goodbye to the DC24 and see how it's done. I've actually quite enjoyed using it. It has been perfectly sized for our small house. Has picked up everything that has been asked for it. Hasn't broken, which is fantastic. What more can you ask for in a vacuum cleaner? It's been alright. We've entered this 3 times now. This is the 4th. It's got lots of dead flowers in at the minute because Amy left a bunch of flowers up on the top shelf where we put them for too long and they all fell apart when I tried to lift them down. So I've gobbled them all up. So there's lots of detritus in there for us to play with. The machine itself, well, sadly Charlie broke it. He went to grab the little tool and snapped off the holder, so I need to get another tool holder. Not the end of the world, I'll be honest. But it's done alright, it hasn't broken in any other way really. The brush roll is quite dirty, I haven't touched it. So there's a fair bit of detritus on there, because obviously we have 2 women in the house. So that'll all need to be cleaned up. But it still works perfectly fine, I'll be honest. Now let's have a look at the filter. Now, under no time this month have I put this above the max fill line, apart from when it's done it itself a little bit, because obviously problem with max fill lines is they only work when the machine is like level. As soon as it's tipped back to use, the dirt fills up at an angle. So unless you literally vacuum a room and then empty it, you're never going to get that zen-like state that certain people seem to like of never going over the max fill line. And even though I've never gone over the max fill line, and well, this is more of a DC24 thing, it might need a new cyclone gasket because it's done that over a month. I haven't touched that, I haven't even looked at it. It's not bad, it's only light fluff. But obviously where the light fluff and the hair, there's quite lots of hair on there, has gone through the filter as it does. I've seen examples of many of these new kinetic vacuums that have blown motors because you're going to get light and heavy dust. EU regulations don't account for this. You have to use the exact specification of dust, the exact weight and size, and it will pass. Normal household use, my finger might produce a lighter dust than my head. You know, my left knee might shed more than my right. You just can't test against it really. Now this post motor filter should be absolutely fine. Ow. Come on. This should be fine. I can't imagine there's any dirt on this. In fact, it'd be nice to see how black it's gone, because that will show the state of the motor, and it hasn't. That is beautiful. Doesn't even smell of burning either, so that might even go through the washing machine okay. So we'll have to have a look, because obviously this will be now refurbished and sold. It's been very good. One slight annoyance has been the length of the hose. A few times I've had to hold the machine in one hand. Oh, I haven't got the cyclone, I like that. There you go, I've had to hold the machine in one hand to get the length of the hose, but obviously that's the price you pay with a small Dyson. It's a small little issue really. And obviously I've had to leave the tool lying around the house because the holder broke off. And the other thing, which is actually my fault, when we fixed the cable, when we replaced the cable, the brush roll switch doesn't actually go up and down. We didn't put it back together correctly, so I haven't been able to turn the brush roll off. It hasn't been a massive issue because we only have a little tiny bit of laminate now, because obviously we've got that horrible dirty carpet covering it all for now. So when I've had to do the kitchen, which is tiny, I just set the brush roll on, I'll be honest, or just quickly use the Becco on it. it's not been the end of the world. More than livable with. I just couldn't be bothered to fix it, I'll be honest. So there we go, the first time of me actually properly using a Dyson DC24 rather than getting them in and refurbishing them and getting them back to their owner or selling them. This one probably isn't going to be sold. In fact, I think it's probably going to get given to an aunt of Amy's who has a DC19 that I gave her. In her old house, she had very thin carpet and lots of hard floor. Now she's in a flat, and I went round there the other day for the first time, and it's got thick carpet everywhere, and it looks flipping awful. So I'm probably going to give her this. I'll take the DC19 back, I'll probably throw it in the bin because it doesn't work very well on the cord rewind broken, and maybe take something fun round to pep her pile up, maybe a Kirby or a Turbo Power or something, and then this will be much better for her. It's only a one-bedroom flat. It would be ideal, but it is not February anymore. It is March. So, because it is a little bit unplanned, and I only finished this machine last night actually. I did the very last thing that I need to do so far. There's more to do. But what I want to use is one of these. A Vorwerk. Yes, that's right. I have my VK 120. 80% fully refurbished and ready to go. Yes, indeedy do. So this is going to be a little bit of an after video as well. So let's have a look at the Vorwerk in more detail. Okay, dokie, here we go. So this is it in its standard configuration in upright mode. Obviously it's very flexible, although it has its issues. The head, there's two plastic pivot pins which stop it from doing that and making awful sort of crunching sounds. So that needs to be looked at some point, but I can live with that. That never used to do that, so it is supposed to spring back, and then it doesn't hold itself upright apparently, but it shouldn't lean right forward either. So that's fine, I can deal with that. This is the underneath. Now if you remember when I first got it, that was all covered in the blue plastic, apart from the very edge bits, which is why they're scratched up. But peeling off that blue plastic, I had to soak it in boiling water for ages, has revealed, apart from my grubby fingerprints, an immaculate base plate. And yeah, it's pretty good. Apart from the brushes, which are very worn, but I have a plan for that. I shall tell you that in a minute. So there is the floor head itself. I shall take the electronics out because this is just the main handle. Really, it doesn't do much else. It powers, which I don't think I've got on me at the minute. I didn't bring it, but it powers the ET31, the dry cleaning scrubber head. This just clips into there and turns that on. I will be wanting to use that. It's a little bit dodgy. It runs, hoping it won't blow up when we use it, but we should get demonstration out of it. It's the bit that I'm not too fussed about really. So that's where that goes. There's also another configuration that I'll have to show you in a minute. This is the main machine. The filter is quite faded. You can see where the handle sits. Now I do have another one of these, but I haven't washed it yet, so I haven't fitted it. This has been washed, so it is pretty much ready to go. But it's from a later machine, the other one, so it's got the checkered square design. So although I'll probably see it, that won't be for this month. I'll keep this one on it for now. That comes off if you push the release button. There is a bag that has barely been used actually in it, because obviously I have lots of genuine bags. So that's nice. That's the inside of the filter. Looking very lovely. So that just clips on there like that. This is the main machine itself. The Vorwerk VK 120. You can't really see that. From 1989. It has some sort of fire damage, something hot. That is a burn mark. Not entirely sure where that's from, but hey ho. Not to worry really. And it is pretty much done, except the motor inside here, you know how I like to strip everything apart to the bare bones? Well, the motor wouldn't come apart. The fan is supposed to twist off, then you can get to the 2 screws that hold the motor onto the housing. But twisting it, and I did try very hard, just spun a captive nut on the other end of the motor. So I think it does need a little bit more work. I was hoping to replace the bearings, but I couldn't quite do that. So I do have, it's in the back of the car still, a whole other motor, a whole other base unit that I'm going to take the motor out of, try and get that apart. I might be able to break it apart and see if I can fix it back together. And if I can refurbish that motor, it can go in this at a later date. But it doesn't sound too bad as it is, really. I mean, if I just turn it on, it's got a lot more suction now that all the rubber has been cleaned up. And it sounds a lot better. It gets a bit drony after a while, but I'm just thinking it could be a little bit smoother. It's also missing the rubber button from there. There should be a rubber button there, but because that's what holds this in. I mean, if I tried really hard, I could pull this off, but because it needs to come out again, I left the button out. And it's fine. You just push through it to get the tools off. But I made the decision to leave that for now. The other thing the handle does is if you push this button here and take this off, this is where it starts to convert into a handheld unit, which I shall show you. Actually, we'll leave it like that because we can go through the tools now and I'll show you all the tools I've got. Here we go. This bag I got given by a lovely bloke called Jake, who is a vacuum cleaner collector who lives quite local to me actually. He gave me this and the head that you are about to see, because I do have another head. I have the older ET31 head, which has a more standard brush roll. If you compare the two, here, this has 2 brush rolls that pull out, and this has a normal brush roll and the normal belt, and I prefer it a little bit. We'll do a little comparison in a minute. It's an unscientific comparison. I'm not trying to sway anybody's mind. This also is suffering from wobbly wheels, which they do because the pivots, the holders wear, so the actual metal axle is pushed that way a little bit. This is what they suffered from apparently, but it's still fine enough to use. This lever here pulls up and turns that around. That is supposed to change the depth of the brush roll. Haven't quite worked it out yet. I have asked a Vorwerk expert that I know for some help on that. So there's the 2 heads. And yeah, I have a complete set of tools because Jake gave me a whole duplicate set of tools. So I basically went through and made a good set. If you need Vorwerk tools, please do let me know. What do I have here? I have the hose there, which does go back onto itself, but obviously shouldn't. So there's the hose. We have, get it out, a crevice tool with the radiator brush. All looking very good. The upholstery tool with litter pickers. The one that came with this machine didn't have litter pickers. I got sent this and it is beautiful. Much better. So we have an upholstery tool. A very dense but still quite soft dusting brush there. Put the light a bit closer there, you might be able to see it now. Ooh. There we go, I have a dusting brush. Undo these Velcro straps. And we come to the extension wand, which is telescopic. So there we go. It's a little bit grindy. It's not as bad now taking it all apart. You can split these fully, so I did, but you obviously can't grease them because then this inner pole here will get disgusting. So I had to just sort of leave that as it was really. We turn the bag around, we have the wall brush, or a very impromptu floor brush, but it's a wall brush really. That's why the end of the wand is angled. So you can turn it so it could be an up top brush, an at the side brush, or a bog standard wall brush for high reach. Which is nice. Then I have this very nice hard floor tool. This is why that one's not really a hard floor tool, because this is the main hard floor tool. 2 rows of very dense bristles with a rubber squeegee in the middle of each. So there's the Vorwerk hard floor tool. And this, which is the carrying strap inside this cover, which is still a little bit broken. I haven't glued it up yet. But inside there is a strap. So you can strap it on yourself and do a bit of cleaning. So yes, I have my Vorwerk system, because it is a cleaning system. This is basically the Italians' version of a Kirby, all ready to go. Let's have a look. Let's do the tools first, because then I can take the tools away. Now, obviously you could use it like this. That is a handle, but it's not what it's really supposed to do. So you push the green button and that slides out. You then fit the carry handle to the machine like so, and then push this bit back in. Then you adjust the strap for personal comfort. I'm quite a big sod, so that needs to go there. And then you can put it on your shoulder. Really, in fact it probably works better the other way. So just put the cable over myself so that you can get access to the switch. So we'll put it the other way. There we go. So that's there on your shoulder, so you can carry it around. You can then fit the hose to the machine, and then you can obviously put any of the cleaning tools on it and do some vacuuming. That shows all the tools briefly. More than enough for any occasion, I'm sure you will agree. Although there is a little bit of an elephant in the room, a lot of that was porridge, especially the last hard floor demo. And the problem with the porridge is that it has left my lovely clean tools absolutely filthy. Hopefully that will disappear in general use. Yeah, right, let me get all these packed away then, and we can have a look at the actual floor cleaning capabilities. Although you can of course use the hard floor tool straight on the base of the machine. I just had it set up in the tools, so I use the tool mode. Right, in time honoured tradition, I have emptied the bin of the Dyson and added a little bit more dirt to the floor. I have tried to pick apart these chunks of fluff and hair just a little bit, mainly because obviously this Vorwerk is a dirty fan machine, and if I go lobbing great big huge chunks of fluff through it, it's gonna. Okay, let's use the rest of my Rice Krispies up, because they're annoying me now. There we go. Right, this will be a do or die test for it, and obviously we have 2 floor tools to decide. So, in the tradition bestowed upon us by Mr. Ibasiak, I think we should pass them each, forwards and backwards, and we'll see which one wins. I will be using both. What this will decide is which one I use first. Because this, I have bought new brushes for this, but they are in the post. They won't arrive now until next week. And if you look, that red brush at the end is basically the low brush indicator. And as you can possibly see, they're not that far away from it. So it does need new brushes. I thought it was doing alright for the brief test bits I've done at home. Although this ET31 does brush better. So we'll do the ET340 first, because obviously it is the one that should go with this machine. Move the dies out of the way and we'll see how it does. Very slow ploughing, and I forgot that I was only supposed to go forwards and backwards. Sorry. Let's try the ET31. The ET31 does stand the machine up, so that has a slight improvement. There really isn't much in that, is there? They both seem to clean about the same. Ooh. Although the ET31 seems to be dripping a lot more bits and bobs than the other one. So I think, I'll be honest, because they're both pretty much in my eyes a draw, I shall start with the ET31, and then when the brushes come for this, I'll fit them and change it over. Seems to be the fairest way, although to start with, I'm going to use just the machine itself to get these chunks up. I don't know if you saw that, but it's just, it won't take those bits of crayon. Pop those up there. There we go. And then now that should just be enough for this to work. It's not a big mess test sort of vacuum, I'll be honest. It was a lot happier without the bits, but there will be no more big mess tests for it to do. Put some light over here, because I don't do big mess tests normally at home, so it should be just about dandy and happily in use. So there we go, March's vacuum and the after refurb look, although you will see this again hopefully when I get the new motor in and change the bag. But now I've got March to fix the motor, so that takes a bit of pressure off. It is the Vorwerk VK120 from 1989. And 2 types of floor head, but that one can wait until the new brushes come for it. So, there we go really. Thank you very much for watching. It's longer than usual vacuum changeover videos because I'm so unorganised really. I've been wanting to use this but I had to get it finished. And now it is finished and can be used. So until the next time, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.